So derdesha.
I personally really struggled with Arabic growing up. And I was reading a lot about, for example, Montessori-style books that limit pages to a single image and a single word, and really hone in on their ability to focus and pay attention and not distract them with very, very busy pages. I was really struggling to find Arabic books that met that specific criteria. And then I was like, honestly, I want the simplest books. And so I kind of just made a list of all of the specifications that I would want in a children's book and decided to make them. And the idea was that, by using realistic images, these are things that he can then see in real life and recognize, and he can draw that correlation as opposed to seeing a cartoon or an illustration and then trying to figure out how that and then the real thing in front of them on the street is the same thing. I have 5 right now, so the alphabet, numbers, colors, shapes, and animals. I have another 5 in the work, which include fruits and vegetables. And I'm personally very excited to take them with me to the grocery store, for example, and have him touch and feel and smell the different fruits and vegetables as he's seeing them in the book. The alphabet book, I went back and forth again, should I add the name of the letter, Alif and Ba, and decided not to, because again, based on the research that I had done to help children develop their reading skills, it's more important for them to focus on sounds.
Sounds, yeah.
Not the names of the letter, because if I know that, B is B, and Ya is Y, and Ta is T, then if I make all those sounds together, Bait, I can learn to read. But if I say Ba, Ya, Ta, that's never going to sound like Bait, no matter how fast you say it. So even though they're very, very simple books, a lot of thought went into them in terms of what is really the best, at least based on my opinion and my research, the best medium to really teach a child these basic words and phrases. So,
how did you kind of battle procrastination and start a whole business with your passion for books?
The number one piece of advice I give all of my friends who become moms after I was a mom is give yourself 3 months of guiltless procrastination. If you are thinking about all the things that you could be doing, you're just going to be perpetually unsatisfied with your life. Especially the first 3 months, I genuinely feel are the hardest. In, what is that, the book, The Happiest Baby on the Block? It says the first 3 months are the 4th trimester. Almost the baby's been excavated from you from too early. They developmentally just need a lot of attention, a lot of your time, a lot of your energy. And so if you can just convince yourself, in your head, you've come to terms with the fact that for the next 3 months, I'm living and breathing and eating and sleeping just for this baby, then I feel you don't feel this sense of missing out or underachievement, and stay off of social media. Whatever you do, stay off of social media. And when I say guiltless exploration, if you decide that for now you want to put your career aside, that doesn't make you a failed career woman. Or if you decide that, you know what, after a month I'm ready to be out of the house, I want to go back to work, that doesn't make you a failed mother. It's so case by case. It's such an individual experience.
Did you speak Arabic growing up, or your friends that you mentioned?
It wasn't until high school that I had Arabic-speaking friends that I was interacting with frequently. Obviously, we had family friends and we had childhood friends, but even with them, we would actually mostly speak in English because similar situation, they were going to the American school or they were going to the British school. And so most of my interactions were in English, even though I was in an Arabic-speaking country from an Arab family. My parents got us Arabic tutors and they tried to be very strict in implementing Arabic-only rules, but second they weren't in the room, it was just much easier for us to speak in English. And
which is what's happening in the UAE as well.
Definitely. Always focus on the minority language. If the society that you're in is predominantly speaking English, then you don't have to worry about English because your child will get it. It will come. maybe there will be delays, maybe there's this and that because you're focusing on another language, but it's still going to come. And so my husband and I just agreed that we were going to only speak Arabic at home. And obviously that's been a challenge for me, but it's actually really helped my Arabic as well.
Yes.
You know, and so it's been a learning experience for all of us, but that is the commitment that we've made, and that's what we're really trying hard to uphold.
Book never really worked for us, to be honest with you. But when he was younger, yeah, he's just very fidgety. He's not. But then I realized the technique was milk. So if he's drinking his milk, it's the only time when he sits still. So this is when I read the books to him.
Actually, on our Instagram account, we have the Disha tips. And so I've been trying to post up little tips about how to like foster that love for reading in your children. And one of them is like, you know, read your child. If they're not interested in the book that you're reading, like don't force it. It's not homework. Like keep it light, keep it fun, like get them to really love it. Yeah.
Sign language, such a big one. And you mentioned you taught your son sign language.
For me, sign language was almost like an intermediate step to language development in the sense that his cognitive and his motor skills develop much more quickly than his linguistic skills. And so he knows what he wants and he's trying to communicate that, but he can't quite form the words. But he can form gestures. And so by forming those gestures, he's able to tell me exactly what he needs, and I'm able to quickly act and fix the problem. And so he's much less frustrated because he feels understood. He feels like he feels confident that he can communicate to us and that we can respond to his needs. When he acts something out, I'll say the word like, bidak kaman, you know, whatever it is. And so he is hearing those words, he's being exposed to language, and then eventually he'll pick those up as well.
English is just sometimes easier for babies. I mean, really, there are some words in Armenian that I can't even, like, you know how to say thank you is shunur hagalim. So, you know, so he's gonna go for thank you.
But actually, that's why I included the English transliteration on these books. And so, kind of just by providing the English transliteration under each word, the book becomes now much more accessible, and it doesn't limit teaching the Arabic language to those who can read it.
Well, this is good for a lot of Westerners who live here as well, who are monolingual and wish they had learned a second language, and they're very passionate about their children learning Arabic.
They're learning Arabic at school. I have a lot of customers who are saying, like, I don't speak any Arabic, and I'm trying to help my child who's learning Arabic in school speak Arabic. And so these books have been really helpful to them in that regard, or, you know, mixed race marriages, or people who maybe can speak Arabic but can't read it, you know. And so we try to make these books as accessible as possible.